10, pages number 5. Number 5, yes. January 8, 1910. Years. The family kills the priest. Self-interest is the woodworm of the priest. The Luisa's Piccarreta books of the divine will. The family kills the priest. Self-interest is the woodworm of the priest. I will now write things of the past in order to obey, and I will explain myself about these reunions came during last November and told me to ask Jesus what he wanted from him. My always lovable Jesus told me the mission of the priest chosen by Allah. I start again. Allora, the family kills the priest. Self-interest is the woodworm of the priest. January 8, 1910 years. I will now write things of the past in order to obey, and I will explain myself about these reunions of priests that blessed Jesus once, since a holy priest came during last November and told me to ask Jesus what he wanted from him. My always lovable Jesus told me the mission of the priest chosen by me will be high and sublime. It is about saving the most noble, the most sacred part, which are the priests, who in this time have become the laughing stock of the peoples. The most appropriate means would be to form these houses of reunion for priests, so as to segregate them from their family, because the family kills the priest. Why it should promote it, push it, and thus intimidate it? If these are saved, the people are saved. Then I received full communication from Jesus regarding these reunions. I wrote them and I gave them to that priest, so I did not think it was necessary to repeat them in this writing of mine, but obedience wants me to write them, and I will make the sacrifice. My adorable Jesus told me the mission I will give is high and sublime in a special way for priests. Faith is almost extinguished among the peoples, and if there is any spark left, it is as though hidden under ashes. The life of priests, which is almost completely secularized, and maybe worse than that, as well as the example, which are not good, lend a hand to extinguish this spark. And what will happen to them and to the peoples? This is why I have called him, so that he may interest himself with my cause, and with a sample, with words, with works, and with sacrifice. He may put an end in it. The most suitable, appropriate, and effective mending would be to form houses of reunion for diocesan priests within their towns, segregating them from their families, because the family kills the priest and causes the darkness of interest, the darkness of appreciation, and mundane things, the darkness of corruption, to be cast into the midst of the peoples. In sum, it takes away all the prestige, the splendor of the priestly dignity, and it makes him become the laughing stock of the people. I will give him intrepidity, courage, and grace if he gets down to work. In addition to this, it seemed that blessed Jesus adorned his heart, and now with love and now with sorrow, letting him share in his pains. My highest and holy good continues to speak to me about the great good that would come to the church by forming these houses of reunion. The good will become more good. Those who are imperfect, lukewarm, relaxed, will become good. Those who are really wicked will go out. And this is how the body of the ministers of my church will be riddled and purified, and by means of the purification of the chosen part, the most sacred, the people will be reformed. In the meantime, I could see before my mind, as if inside a picture, Corato and the priests who were to lead this work through it would be directed by adorable Jesus added. No, so it would be directed by Father G. The priests seem to be Father C, D, B, and D, C, F, followed by others, and it seemed that they were to put in a share of the possessions. And my adorable Jesus added, it is necessary to weave this thing well, so that no one may escape, and to procure the necessary means, so as not to burden the people. And So the parish incomes should be tied only to those who will participate in these reunions, and these will maintain the, the choir and all of the other offices uh, pertaining to their ministry. At first, this will provoke contradiction and persecutions, but mainly among the priests themselves. However, some things will change. The people will be with them, generously providing for them, and they will enjoy the peace and the fruit of their toils, because for those who are with me, I hallow that everyone be with them. Then my always lovable Jesus threw himself into my arms while afflicted and supplicating, so much as to move the pity, even the stones. And he said, "Tell Father G that I beg him, I supplicate him to help to save my children, and not uh, to let them perish." My most lovable Jesus continues on the same topic. With the fathers there present, I saw the heavens opened, and my adorable Jesus and the Celestial Mama coming toward me, with the saints looking at us from heaven, and my benigne Jesus said, "My daughter, tell Father G that I absolutely want this work. They already begin to raise difficulties, but tell him that it takes nothing but intrepidity, courage, and lack of self-interest. It is necessary to close one's ears to all that is human, and to open them to that which is divine. Otherwise, the human difficulties will become a net that will keep them entangled in such a way that the, that they will not be able to get out, and I will justly justice them, rendering them the rags of the peoples. But if they promise to get down to work, I will be all for them, and they will be nothing but the shadows which will follow the work so yearned for by me. Not, not, not only this, but they will have another great good. In fact, the church needs to be purged and washed by the shedding of blood, because she has dirtied herself very much, to the point of giving me nausea. But in the places where they will purify themselves in this way, I will spare the blood. What more do they want? Then, turning around as though looking at one of the priests, he added, I choose you as the head of this work, because I have cast a seed of courage with, you. This is a gift, and I do not want you to keep it uselessly. Up until now, you have wasted it in frivolous things, in foolish things, and in politics, and they have repaid you by embittering you and by giving you no peace. Now enough, enough. Give yourself to my work. Use the courage I have given you, only for me, and I will be all for you, and will repay you by giving you peace and grace. I will make you acquire that esteem which you have been fishing for back there, and which you have not obtained. O Satan, I will not give you human esteem, but divine. Then he said to Father G, by my son, courage, defend my cause, sustain, help those priests whom you see a little disposed for this work, promise ever good in my name to those who will commit themselves, and threaten those who cause contradictions and obstacles. Tell the bishops and the leaders that if they want to save the flock, this is the only means. It is up to them to save the shepherds, and it's up to the shepherds to save the flock. And if the bishops do not place the shepherds in safety, how can the flocks ever be saved? Having heard about the difficulties of the priests in forming the houses of reunions, was praying to good Jesus that if it was his will that it be done, he could solve the obstacles which were preventing such a great good. And my adorable Jesus, in coming, told me, my daughter, all the obstacles come from the fact that each one looks at this thing according to his own conditions and the dispositions, and naturally the encounter 1,000 laces and stumbling blocks which prevent their steps. But if they looked at this work according to my honor and glory, and only for the good of their souls and of the souls of others, all laces would be broken, and the obstacle would vanish. Yet if they commit themselves, I will be with them, and I will protect them so much that if any priest will try to would be broken, and the obstacles would vanish. Yet if they commit themselves, I will be with them, and I will protect them so much that if any priest will try to oppose and hinder my work, I am, I am even disposed to take his life away. Then all afflicted, my always lovable Jesus added, Ah, my daughter, do you know what the most insurmountable stumbling block and the strongest laces? It is a mere self-interest. Self-interest is the woodworm of the priest, which renders him like a rotten wood that is fit only for burning in hell. Interest makes the priest the logging stock of the devil, the mockery of the people, and the idol of their families. Therefore, the devil will put many obstacles to hinder their work, because he sees that the net in which he has kept them chained and enslaved to his dominion is being broken. So tell Father G to infuse courage in those whom he sees disposed. Moment. Sees disposed, and not to leave them until he sees that the work has started. Otherwise, they will just keep planning, but they will not conclude anything. Let him tell the bishops not to accept new ordinations if they are not disposed to live segregated from their families. Tell him also that many will deride him, make fun of him, and discredit him, but he should not pay attention to this. Suffering because of me will be all sweet for him. January 10, 1911 years. When the priests do not occupy themselves only with God, they become withered because they do not participate in the influence of grace. Continuing in my usual state, as I was praying, my always lovable Jesus, to dissolve the obstacles which prevented these reunions, and to manifest to us the way which best pleased him. Blessed Jesus came for a little while and told me, My daughter, the point which I most care about and which I cherish the most is to detach the priest perfectly from his family. Let them give everything they have to their families, keeping for themselves only that which is personal, and since they are to be maintained by the Church, justice demands that things must end up there where they come from. Oh no. moment. And since they had to be maintained by the church, justice demands that things must end up there where they come from. That is everything which they may have must serve to maintain and service and to expand the works for my glory and for the good of the people. Otherwise, I will not render the peoples generous toward them, not not only this, but they themselves will separate from their families with their bodies, but not excuse me, but not with their hearts, and therefore a thousand abilities who can make more profit and buffets among than if one is assigned a more lucrative position than someone else, so as to be able to give it to their families. They themselves will see in practice how many others will come if they touch this most essential point, how many disunions, jealousies, rancors, and the like. I am content with having favor of them, rather than having this work, so much wanted by me, ruined. My daughter, how many Hananias will come out, and how well they will know how to defend, to support, to excuse this so well liked idol of interest. All with those who consecrate themselves to me, do I have this misfortune, that instead of caring about me, about my honor and my glory, and about the sanctification which befits their state, they usually be only as a cover, while their purpose is to care about their families and grandchildren. It is not for those who give themselves to the world. Rather, they try to strain their families, and if they cannot pull, they arrive at denying their own parents, or at denying their own parents, at when the priest does not occupy himself only with my glory and with the offices pertaining to the priestly ministry alone. He is nothing but a dislocated bone which gives pain to me, pain to himself, and the pain to the people, and renders his vocation and frustrated one. And since when a bone is not in its place, it always gives pain, and by not participating in the humor of the body, with the time withers, and it is necessary to, to sever it because of its uselessness, as much as because it gives pain to the other members. The same with priests, when they do not occupy themselves with me alone, being like a bone dislocated from my body. They become withered because they do not participate in the influence of my grace. And I told them, but if I see their hardness, I cast them away from me, and do you know where? Into the deepest hell. Then he added, write this, let them tell the Father to whom I entrust this mission for priests to remain firm on this point and to make it intouchable. Tell him also that I want him on the cross, always crucified with me. Okay, is at the end. The page now comes 7.